2007, January 2008, on a frigid night in Wisconsin. Joining us this morning on the show, Shaun O'Hara. Shaun, good morning.
D.A., top of the morning to you, my man. Yeah, just hearing you talk about that game, it makes me cold.
I'm friends with Lawrence Tynes, and I've oftentimes asked him just how cold was it, and he said it was so cold he can still remember the feeling in his body, that it took him days to warm up, that it felt like he would never get warm. What are your memories of the temperature that night? That is the infamous Tom Coughlin red face night at Lambeau Field in the 2007 title game.
Yeah, wow. All these images come rushing back when you start describing that. And I don't think anybody felt any colder in that stadium than Tynesy did after he missed his second field goal.
Yeah.
I think we all had a couple of things to say to him. Don't come back to our sideline if you miss another. I'm pretty sure he hurt everybody. But, yeah, Tynesy, I love him. You're a brave man telling people that he's a friend of yours. But I think that's probably one of the most impressive feats, the fact that he made that field goal in overtime. It must have felt like kicking a medicine ball because that thing was so damn hard. I was having a hard time snapping it to Eli because every football was frozen solid. It was like a bowling ball. You ever try to palm a bowling ball? That's not easy. So, yeah, it was the coldest I've ever been in my life. And I remember at one point in the game just thinking, you know what, like, I don't really care if we win or lose right now. I just want this to be over.
Really?
And the audible gasp in Lambeau Field from the fans, the Packers fans and everybody there, when Tynes missed a field goal in regulation that would have put us up, and when he missed it, you could almost hear oh my gosh, like people wanted to go home. They wanted it to be like the Packers fans were okay with him making a field goal and losing the game in regulation. They did not want overtime, so that was like worst case scenario, that to keep everybody else outside even longer. It was so cold, my molars were cold. Like places where you think would never get cold, they got cold. And yeah, it's something that you'll remember forever. I got frostbite on my fingertip because, as lineman, you're always jamming your fingers, so you tape them up before the game, and that just kind of restricts the blood flow already. So you add that on with the cold, and yeah, it was there were some painful fingers and toes, and I believe it was the very first and only NFC championship celebration to happen indoors. Normally they do that outside, but they were like, hell no, we're not having everybody stand outside here and hand around this metal trophy in this weather, and that's why Tynes took off running off the field and right into the locker room.